So now it's on. I want to off it.
What?
My video. Please stop my video.
You can't see yourself? I can't hear anything.
Unmuted. Can you hear me? Yes, we can hear
Yes,
you.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Ramanu. Kudirima. బుక్కు పేపరు పెన్ను
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Till the end of class, whenever we speak, because there are so many children, you stay muted. All right. So, welcome to all the wonderful kids who have joined us for this beautiful sessions in summer during your holidays for Ramayana and different stories from Bhagavatam. Yes. So it's wonderful to see so many children interested in learning about the Lord and his pastimes. It's very, very nice. Yes, are you all excited? If you can just put in the chat, you can type in the chat. Because if you unmute, there'll be too many of you saying yes, yes, no, no. So just type in chat if you are excited and you, yes, so many people have written yes. Very nice. Excellent. So before we start, I want to tell you about me. My name is Supriya Radhika Devidasi, and I'll be telling you. This is why. This is exactly why we said please mute and switch off your videos. No videos and no mute. When I ask you, then you can switch it on. All right? Otherwise, there's too much of a disturbance. All those who have the videos on, you can switch it off. Very nice. Excellent. Radhika, Rakshita, I can still see you. I'm sure your videos can go off. Nayonika and Naga, videos can go off, please. The bandwidth will not take so many videos. We'll become
Just join meeting.
All right, so I'm Supriya Radhika Devidasi, one of your teachers. We have many other teachers. But first, let me introduce you to Kishori Devidasi. Please, can you mute? There's one person who's not muted. Yes. Yes. So, let me introduce you to Her Grace Kishori Devidasi. She's one of the senior devotees and she is my guru. She taught me so that I can teach you. And she's been in this movement, in Krishna conscious movement, for more than 25 years. She has mentored and trained more than 1,000 people around the world. So, and I want her to, Mataji, can you please unmute and switch on your video?
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Have so many kids enrolled, and I know it's going to be exciting because we have beautiful teachers who are going to tell us lovely stories. All that y'all need to do is to hear very carefully what they speak, because we're going to have this quiz at the end of every session, and at the end of the camp we are going to have prizes for everyone. So it's an exciting time. I would say just take part, and enjoy what these teachers are going to give you. Supriya Radhika Mataji is fabulous at doing this, and she's got Preeti Mataji and Sujata Mataji who are going to be doing other elements of the the program, the summer camp program. And we also will have learning of a shloka, which we will do every time we learn about the personality. Now these personalities whom we are learning about, it's very important to understand that we should try and take their, they are such wonderful personalities. So we should try and get their beautiful qualities in us. So when you see Lord Ramachandra, we know that he is a wonderful personality. He is known as Maryada Purushottam Ram. So what are the different elements we can pick up from Lord Ramachandra? So that is what we should do with every story we hear. And we should make sure that we enjoy this process, because it is going to be very, very enjoyable for all of you. So welcome and enjoy the whole process. Thank you, Supriya. And now I'm going to turn off my video as Mataji requested. Kindly turn off your videos so that there is no disruption in the process of learning. Yeah? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
Okay, so what we're going to do is, before we start every class, we have to first remember to join in 10 minutes before, and we have to mute and we have to switch off our videos. And if you have any questions, you should have a notepad and a pen and write down the questions. So will we ask questions during class? No, we won't, because we have so many. We have 70 children who are going to be there. And if I have to listen to everyone's question, we'll go way beyond time. So we will ask at the end of class, at 12 o'clock when we finish, then I can take up all your questions one by one. Those who don't have questions can leave. Those who have questions can stay back and we can answer your questions. All right. First thing first, what we're going to do is we are going to chant our opening prayers. So I'm going to just share a screen so that you all can see the prayers. And then we can chant it together. Just bear with me for a minute. There are many of the children who already know the prayers, but there are many who are new. So for them, I'll just put it on screen. Okay, here we go. So now, when we say our prayers, we'll join our hands, we'll listen carefully. Those who know the prayers can chant with me. Those who don't know can read along with me. Yes? Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Ma'am, you are unmute.
Ma'am, you are on mute.
You're on mute.
Now, before we start class, we will chant these prayers every day. All right? So we start off with Ramayana. Now, Ramayana is the story of Lord Ram, but is it just a story? So, like Kishori Mataji said, Lord Ram has his personality, his virtues, his principles are all a basis for us leading our lives. We learn a lot from Lord Ram, Mother Sita, even from Dashrath, from Lakshman, Bharat, Shatrughan. Each and every personality in Ramayana will teach you something which you can imbibe and you must imbibe in your lives. Yes. So we should start off with Ramayana. Now, Ramayana was written by Rishi Valmiki. Now, in India, we have various versions of Ramayana. In the north, it's Tulsidas Ramayana, which was later written by Tulsidas. It's called Ramcharitramanas, and he wrote it in Avdi. But Valmiki Ramayana is written in Sanskrit in a poetic. It's a song. It's a beautiful meter, a song. And in the south, there is a different version called Kamba Ramayana. So we are basically going to only talk about Valmiki Ramayana. Each version will have different stories. Yes? All right. So I'll just share with you and then we will start. All right. Okay. So can everybody see it? If you can Sujata, can you just unmute and tell me whether you can see it and you can hear me clearly?
Yes. Yes, you're very clear and we can see it as well.
Yes.
Okay, very good. All right. So now, like I said,
Yes, we can.
yes, I only asked one person to say that. Thank you. All right. So now, like I said, Rishi Valmiki, he wrote the Valmiki Ramayana. Now, Rishi Valmiki, one day in his ashram, he saw these two beautiful birds and they were enjoying each other's company, but a hunter killed the male bird and the female bird was crying and crying. And at that point, when he had gone to the river, he composed two lines talking about the separation of the two birds. And he narrated it, or he said this in such a poetic manner, which he had never ever said before. That all his disciples said that, "Oh Master, oh Rishi, you've spoken this so beautifully." So at that time, what happened? Lord Brahma comes down and he instructs Rishi Valmiki to write the Ramayana in the same poetic manner. So Valmiki was greatly surprised to see Lord Brahma. So Lord Brahma said that you have heard from Narad Muni. Narad Muni was Rishi Valmiki's spiritual master and he instructed Valmiki Muni. And he said that you have heard about the beautiful attributes of Lord Ram. So you must write Ramayana and glorify Lord Ram and glorify his Lord Vishnu's purpose for coming down as Lord Ram. And Lord Brahma, he also gave him a benediction that whatever you write, every single word of yours in this epic will prove untruthful. So he asked Valmiki, compose this in the set of all the shlokas. And as long as mountains and rivers exist on this earth, the story of Ramayana will prevail among people. And you will also be remembered. So Rishi Valmiki, he wrote the Ramayana and he wrote it in 24,000 verses. And he wrote it in 6 sections or 6 cantos called the Kant. And so now Rishi Valmiki, when he wrote this Ramayana, Ram had already killed Ravan and he was back in Ayodhya, he was the king. But Sita was in Valmiki's ashram with her sons Lava and Kush. So he taught this beautiful, he said this beautiful piece of work should be told to everybody around this world so that everybody knows the beautiful, beautiful story of Ram and Sita and Lakshman and their journey in the forest. So he taught it to Lava and Kush And then Love and Kush went to Ayodhya and they were singing it. And people heard them sing it. And then Lord Ram heard about it and invited them to his palace. And he heard these two wonderful boys singing the Ramayana, his story, in front of him. So, 6 cantos, that is 6 chapters. How is that? It is sectioned as first section Balkand, Ayodhya Kand, Aranya Kand, Kishkinda Kand, Sundar Kand, and Yuddha Kand. Now, all this was already which happened in the past, but Uttarkand was something which was happening in the present and will happen in the future. So that's why I've kept it separately. So now, when before we start Ramayana, we should understand, why did Lord Vishnu come down in a human form to kill Ravan? Couldn't Vishnu just kill Ravan? Why did he come down in a human form? So there were now Ravan for many, many hundreds and thousands of years was creating a big havoc in all the 3 worlds. And everybody was troubled by him and they were fed up. The devatas, the humans, the animals, everybody was fed up. So they all went to Lord Brahma. So Lord Brahma said, don't worry, we'll go to Vishnu. Vishnu said, okay, I will. Tell me, what should I do? So now there were 4 curses against Ravan. Now, that is why this story is very, I will not go through all the atrocities Ravan did because it is endless. We cannot even cover it in one lifetime. That's how bad he was. But the 4 main curses which Ravan got was, once, Ravan was flying in his the Pushpak Viman, which he stole from his brother Kuber. Now, while he was flying, when he looked down, he saw this beautiful girl who was an ascetic girl who was sitting on a soft grassland surrounded by flowers, and she glowed with her golden beauty. And she was covered in deer skin and she was doing tapas, she was doing austerity. And because of her spiritual power, there was an effulgence coming from her and she looked very, very beautiful. So he went down and he said, what are you doing here? You're so beautiful. Come with me, become my wife. I'll take you to my palace. I have this whole Lanka made of gold. You come there. You're not fit to be in this forest. You have to be in the palace. So this girl was Vedavati. Vedavati said, look, do not even bother. She said in a very sweet voice, I am only Vishnu can be my husband. I'm only going to marry Vishnu. Ravan said, what is this Vishnu? This Vishnu is nothing in front of me. Come on, you come with me and you live in my golden city called Lanka. And he said, and he caught her by the hair. Now Vedavati was so angry and she had power because she had spiritual power. She picked up a blade of grass and she cut her hair. And then she said, oh, evil one, you have the audacity to even touch me. Because of this, I shall now quit my body. Because you have insulted me, I shall take birth again and I will be the cause of your destruction. I will appear on this earth. I shall become a pious daughter of a very virtuous man, and you and your entire race will be destroyed as a result of my birth. So, and what she did, she completely burnt herself and she became ashes. Now, this foolish Ravan, what did he do? He picked up the ashes, put it in a golden box, and took it back to Lanka. And when he took it back to his palace, there were all inauspicious things happening. So all his advisors advised him, it's because of this box, you have to put it away. So then he then took it and put it into the ocean. Yeah. All right. There is someone who's pressing something and making some noise. Can I please ask that person to stop doing that? Shlok, please. All right, stop that. So then.
I didn't really do that. I accidentally pressed the button.
All right, okay. So that was the first curse. Now the second curse was he was going towards Kailash. Now, Mount Kailash is the abode of Lord Shiva. Now, the Rakshas immediately went over there and he looked down and he saw a monkey faced person. It was actually Nandi, but he had a monkey face that day. He started laughing at him and he started insulting him and said, "Come on now, I want to go meet Lord Shiva." Nandi said, "No chance, you cannot meet Lord Shiva because he's with Mother Parvati. You cannot disturb them." So what did he do? He said, "Oh, you're stopping me. I'm the great Ravan." He started with his 20 hands. He started gnawing against and digging against the sides of the mountain. He started shaking the mountain. Now, when he started shaking the mountain, Parvati slipped from her position and she clung on to Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva said, "Don't worry, don't be afraid. This is this foolish Ravan. So I'll deal with him, don't worry." Now, Parvati's eyes were red with anger. She said, the second curse, she said, "Now this wretch has frightened a woman because of his violence. His death will be caused by a woman." So this was the second. So now what happened? Now Lord Shiva, because he was angry, Ravan tried to pick up Mount Kailash. He just pushed it down with his big toe, and Ravan's hand got caught underneath and he couldn't move. He said, "Oh, please, please, please save me, please save me." And he started offering prayers to Lord Shiva. Now, Lord Shiva is he's called Ashutosh because he's easily pleased. He became very easily pleased. Ravan then offered him a lot of prayers, did a lot of austerities, and Lord Shiva gave him his astra called the Pashupatastra. Then after this, he went away. With that, he went to the Swargalok. In heaven, he saw this beautiful Apsara, Rambha. And he said, "Come on, come with me, you become my wife." Rambha said, "No, I'm already married. I'm your brother's son's wife." Kuber was his brother. His Kuber's son was Nalakuber. She was Nalakuber's wife. She said, "No, no, I cannot come with you. I'm like your daughter." So he said no. He started forcing to take her. She somehow ran away. And then she went to Nalakuber. Now Nalakuber was very angry. He was livid. So he cursed him. Third curse is that now every time he tries to force a woman and try to take her against her will, he will be killed. If he tries to marry someone against her will forcefully, he will immediately fall dead. Now Ravan came to know of the curse and he said that, okay, if Nalakuber has cursed this, definitely I have to be careful. From now onwards, I won't force anyone to marry me. I will convince them to marry me. That was the third. Now the fourth one was one of the ancestors of Dasharath Maharaj and Lord Ram. One of the ancestors Raman went and started fighting with him. Now, he did not consider humans very strong. He felt that humans were very weak. So he started fighting with Anaranya, this king. Now, Anaranya was a very, very, a Kshatriya. He was so strong. But somehow, Raman defeated him. Now, as Anaranya was dying, he started insulting him and saying, "Oh, you're so horrible. Your race is so horrible. Your family is so horrible." He started abusing him. Anaranya had so much spiritual energy, he did not want to waste it on cursing Ravan. But he said, "Now this person has to be stopped." So he said, so what did he say? He said that the person born in this race will be the cause of your death. So these were the four curses. Now, and also apart from this, he had a boon from Lord Brahma. Now, what was this boon? Lord Brahma, he was pleased with Ravan's austerities, and Lord Brahma gave him so he asked for a boon. He said that no yaksha, no devata, no rakshas, no demon, no powerful being can harm me. But he did not ask about no one can kill me, but he did not include in that list humans and monkeys. So now when the devatas came to Lord Brahman saying that we have Lord Vishnu has to help us. So Brahma tells this to Lord Vishnu. Vishnu says, "Okay, I will go down in a human form. I will go down as Lord as Dashrath's son Ram. So this is the background of Ravan. So now we go back to Love and Kush, who was narrating the Ramayana, who was singing this beautiful kavya, the poem Ramayana to Lord Ram in his palace. Now, Valmiki Ramayana starts with the description of Ayodhya. Ayodhya is on the banks of river Sarayu, and it in the beautiful, prosperous country called Koshala. Now, Ayodhya was invincible. Nobody could defeat it. That's why it was called Ayodhya. Ayodhya means invincible, cannot be defeated. So this Ayodhya had several palaces, and there were several elephants, horses, cattle. The city echoed with musical instruments like trumpets, mridangas, veenas, and there was no city on earth superior than Ayodhya. It was filled with brahmanas who were well versed in all the Vedas, and they took care of the entire society. Now, this Ayodhya was ruled by King Dashrath. So, the qualities of King Dashrath were he was a powerful protector of the people, and he was very, very strong, and he had all the qualities of a Kshatriya. He was also well versed in the Vedas. And his two Kul Gurus were Rishi Vashisht, and he was the main Rishi Vashisht, and he had many others also. So then he performed many sacrifices, and he was devoted to practicing dharma, and he saw to it that his people, his praja also practiced dharma. He was a great sage, and he was a royal saint, yes, and he was renowned in all the three worlds, Bhulok, Bhuvarlok, and Swarlok. Yes, and he had perfect control on his senses. Now, the people who lived in Ayodhya, now, this is a little model of the golden Ayodhya. So all this is Ayodhya. Yeah, it looked like this. It looks golden, but it's because of the light. So the people who lived in Ayodhya, they were very happy, they were virtuous, they were well read in the Shastras, they were free from greed, they always spoke the truth. All men and women in the city were righteous, their conduct were righteous, they were fully self-controlled, they were prosperous, and they were pure like Maharishis, each person. And they were very opulent, they were very rich. None of them were without ear ornaments or without a crown. They were always wearing garlands. None of them were unclean. They were very clean, which means that they were in Sattva Gun. So they were always anointing their body with fragrant oils. And no one was without food, and they were always satisfied, and they were very charitable. They were always practicing yagyas. There were no thieves, no jealous people, mean-minded people. So what do we learn from all this? So we can make our learning the Ramayana, right? Now, secondly, our conduct should be in Sattva Gun, that is mode of goodness. How is that? Be clean, speak truthful, be kind, don't be angry. Yes, that is Sattva Gun. And when we eat, what should we eat? We should eat prasadam, and we should distribute also prasadam. Whatever we eat, we offer to the Lord, and then we eat. Yes, then we should also perform sacrifices. But now in Kali Yuga, what is the sacrifice recommended? Is Sankirtan Yajna, that is chanting in a group. Right. Then we should not be mean-minded and jealous. These qualities can be easily developed by chanting and learning from the scriptures. So now Dashrath, King Dashrath had everything, Ayodhya and such wonderful praja, but one he did not have was a son. So for a son, he approached his guru, Rishi Vashisht, and said that I think we have to do something. Please help me. So Vashisht said, let's do a horse sacrifice, and then we can do and appease the lords for you to get a son. So then one of his advisors said that the neighboring country, there was this King Anga, and his son-in-law, Rishyashringa. Once there was a drought in that country, and he had approached Rishyashringa, who was very, very spiritually, very powerful. And when Rishi Shringa had done the yagya, the sacrifice, Indra was satisfied and there was so much rain. So they said that you should approach Rishi Shringa and he will do the Putra Prapti Yagya to get the son. So now Rishi Shringa was brought, the huge sacrifice was arranged, and then during the sacrifice, there emerged from the sacrificial fire, a powerful being holding a cup of payasam or kheer in his hand. So this divine being held his both the hands he held a large vessel made of gold, and it was purified, and now he said, give it to your wives. So now King Dashrath gave half portion to Kaushalya, his first wife, then 1/4 to Sumitra, the second wife, and 1/8 to Kaikai. Now there was still 1/8 left, so he gave that 1/8 again to Sumitra. So therefore, to Kaushalya was born Lord Ram, to Sumitra was born Lakshman and Shatrughan, and to Kaikai was born Bharat. Now, Ram and Lakshman were inseparable, and Bharat and Shatrughan were inseparable. They all played together, but they were inseparable. So, Lord Ram, right from the childhood, Lakshman, who was the enhancer of fortune, always remained attached to his eldest brother Ram, the delight of the world. And Ram, the greatest among men, would not sleep without Lakshman's company. He would not even partake even the choicest foods without Lakshman. Whenever Ram went, another name for Ram is Raghav. When Raghav went hunting into the forest or riding the horse, Lakshman used to follow him holding bows and arrows. In the similar manner, Shatrughan, younger brother of Lakshman, became dearer than his own life to Bharat. So Ram and Lakshman were very attached. Similarly, Bharat and Shatrughan were very attached. So what do we learn from their behavior? What do we learn? We learn that we must be very affectionate to our siblings, to your brothers, to your sisters. You must be very affectionate. You must eat together. You must study together. You must help each other in studies. You must play together. Yes, you must look out for each other's welfare. Yes, they should become dearer than life to you. Yes, you must think of them and their welfare and vice versa. So when that happens, then your life will be very, 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 very beautiful. Now, in the meantime, now Lord Ram had already descended as the child of Dashrath, and Lord Brahma had already instructed all the devatas that now go and your children should be born as monkeys, and the army should start getting ready because Lord Ram in the future will need them. So we will talk in detail which devata got whom as their son. So now everything was going fine. Childhood of Lakshman, they became a little older. They reached their teens. And then who arrives? Rishi Vishwamitra arrives. Now Vishwamitra was welcomed by Dashrath. And Dashrath, paid his obeisances to Rishi Vishwamitra and said that, please tell me how I can please you. And I promise you that I'll make you happy. And, so Vishwamitra said that I'm doing a sacrifice. And every time the sacrifice, the yajna is going to completion, it's going to be completed. There are these two Rakshasas, Marich and Subahu, who come and they pour blood and flesh into the sacrificial fire and they spoil it. Now, my sacrifice is such, my yajna is such that I cannot lose my control and kill them, nor can I get angry. So now I want you to give me your son Ram. Ram is alone capable of killing them. So on hearing Vishwamitra's words, Dashrath just fainted because he and Ram were inseparable. He couldn't even go through the morning or even a few hours without seeing Ram. He was so attached to his sons. He said, no, please don't take Ram. He's just 16. He's such a young boy. Don't take Ram. Take me. I, with my army, will come. We will protect you. We will kill those Rakshas. He's saying, no, I don't want your army. I don't want you. I want Ram. Okay, fine. If you're saying no, then I'll go. I'll go. You break your promise, I'll go. So Dashrath, he didn't know what to do. And then Vashisht Muni, he went to Dashrath and spoke in his ear. He said, look, Dashrath, Vishwamitra is very, very powerful. He has the knowledge of all the, all the weapons, the celestial weapons, and no harm can come to Ram because Vishwamitra is there to protect him. So it is more beneficial you send Ram with him because he will learn a lot from Vishwamitra, and there's no other guru better than Vishwamitra. You must send him. So Dashrath became very happy after hearing this and said, okay, I'll send Ram, but on one condition, you take Lakshman also, because these two are inseparable. So then they left. Vishwamitra walked in front, behind him Ram, bow in hand, like the archer, and Sumitra's son Lakshman, he also with his bow in hand walked behind Ram, and they reached the river Sarayu. Now, Sarayu, when they reached the river Sarayu, Vishwamitra said that, come on, wash your hands, do Achaman, and I will give you this mantra for two called the Bal and Atibal. Now, Bal and Atibal mantras, if you receive them, you will not experience fatigue or fever. You will not feel you don't have to fall asleep. You will not feel agitated. You will not feel hungry or thirsty. Every time you chant this Bal and Atibal, you will always remain fresh. You don't need anything. So they taught him that, and then they crossed the river Sarayu. When they reached the midstream, they heard this huge noise. So Ram asked Vishwamitra, what is this noise we are hearing? So Vishwamitra said that, you see this river Sarayu, it comes from Mount Kailash. Now Brahma created from his mind a lake in Mount Kailash called the Mansarovar. Yeah, Manasa Sarovar called Mansarovar. Now this river flows from Manasa Sarovar and is known as Sarayu. And when the Ganga river approaches the river Sarayu, there is a clash of their waters and this huge, tumultuous, great noise is produced. So Ram immediately offered his respectful obeisances, and then with the calm mind, they went forward. Now, as they went forward, we have to learn about the few learnings. What are the etiquettes? When a rishi, when a saint comes to your house, what must you do? You must offer obeisances. You must make every endeavor to please them. You must offer the best of everything to them because they only come to bless you, not for their own benefit. They come to bless you. And you must also honor your word. If you have said that, yes, I will do this or I will give you this, you must honor your word. Yes. And also, what is this learning? What do you learn? What is your attitude towards your elders? You must follow instructions, just like Lord Ram followed Dashrath's instructions. He didn't say, when Dashrath said, go with Vishwamitra, he just went. Right? He didn't say, oh, Papa, not today, maybe tomorrow. I don't feel like going. Maybe, you know what? I don't like it. No, don't. Because King Dashrath knows what is best for Lord Ram. You should always be respectful towards your elders, even elder brothers or sisters. Elders does not just mean mom, dad, or uncles, aunts, or grandparents. Also elder brothers and sisters. And anyone elder to you. Teachers, strangers also. You must be careful. You must be eager and attentive while learning. Why? Because every time an elder teaches you something, there is always something to learn. Then you must ask questions also, but if you must be submissive. You mustn't ask questions like, oh, why should I go? Why should I do this? You think, is there any particular reason I should do this? Not challenging. Yes. And you must also serve your guru. And you must also support your siblings. Yes. Just like Lakshman supported his elder brother, Lord Ram. Now they come to the forest. After going from Sarayu and the Ganga, Ram and Lakshman come across this forest. And again, Lord Ram asked Vishwamitra, what is this forest? why is this like this? Why is it so, abandoned and there's nobody here? And why is it looking like this? So Vishwamitra said that I'll tell you the story about this forest. Listen carefully. So there were these two large prosperous cities called Malad and Kurush, built by the celestial architects, and it was very prosperous. But there was this terrible Yakshini named Tataka, and she was capable of assuming different forms at will. She possessed great strength, like thousands of elephants, and she was the mother of Marich. And Marich was also round and strong, and he had long arms, and he was very energetic, and he was also threatening all the inhabitants. So everybody ran away, and only Tataka is here. So you must kill Tataka. So he told Ram. So Lord Ram immediately took out his bow and arrow and he pulled the string, and with that twang, Tataka heard the twang and she came out. He said, "Who is this? Who is this? Troubling me or disturbing me?" And she comes out in this form. And then Ram tells Lakshman that, you know what I'll do is I will just get cut off her ears and nose so that she'll go away, she'll run away. I don't want to harm her because she's a woman. So then Tataka starts throwing like rains of boulders towards them, and Lord Ram, very easily, Ram and Lakshman, they just, with their bow and arrow, multiple bows, they just stop it, they just, throw it away. And then Lakshman cuts off her ears and tip of her nose, and Ram cuts off her hands. And now Vishwamitra says, look, you better kill her immediately because very soon the night is approaching. And during the evening, and when it becomes dark, the strength of the Rakshasas increases thousands of times, and you will not be able to kill her. So kill her now. So then immediately Lord Ram takes out an arrow and kills her. Now, once she is dead, now all the devatas, they come down. They're very happy because they were very troubled by Tataka. They couldn't do anything to her. So, then they come down and they're so happy that they knew that Tataka will be killed only by Ram, because when Vishnu came as Lord Ram, no one, see, Vishnu is undefeatable, right? So Ram was the only one who could kill Tataka. So they come down and as gifts, they give Ram all the celestial weapons which they had. They gifted it to him one by one. And then Vishwamitra said, let's just rest here for the night. And the next day morning, Vishwamitra calls Ram, and he gives him the knowledge of all the other celestial weapons, gives the knowledge of the mantras to invoke them. And then Ram asks that please also teach me mantras to withdraw them, because sometimes you might need to withdraw it also. So Vishwamitra teaches that. And Ram in turn teaches everything to Lakshman. So now what they do is they leave and they reach the ashram, the hermitage of Rishi Vishwamitra, where the sacrifice, the yagya is going to happen. Now this yagya so Lord Ram said that you're going to start this yagya. Please tell me when is Marich and Subahu going to come so that we'll be ready. But now Vishwamitra had already gone into a vow of silence, Maun Vrat. And he said that, now what I'll do is, they will come around the 6th day, you better be careful. So now on the 6th day, when suddenly the air, the night became dark and there were clouds and there was wind and they saw these two huge creatures in the sky pouring blood and flesh, and they also had lot of followers with them, and there was so much noise. And Marich and Subahu appeared. Now Ram worked his bow continuously, and he started killing all the Rakshas, and he started, and so these Rakshas were very, they were bewildered. They were saying that, oh, who are these people? How did this happen? Where did they come from? So then Ram, seeing Marich, he said that, what I'll do, he told Lakshman, I'm going to invoke the Manav Astra. So this Astra is from Manu, and he immediately fired this weapon at Marich, and this demon was flung 800,000 miles, he landing somewhere in the ocean. And that place where he landed nowadays is called Mauritius. Yeah, Marich went there and it's called Mauritius. So he landed there. He was not killed, but he landed there. And Ram looked and he said that now look at the four. Now these two were little boys, right? They were just teenagers. He's saying, see what I did. See how he went and landed so far away. See what I did. Now see what I'm going to do. So they were like, they were enjoying each other's. They were enjoying this weaponry and they were enjoying this match also. And then now Ram took out his Vayu Astra and this. Vayu Yastra, what happened was this huge gale of wind came and blew away all the Rakshasas and all that blood and flesh and everything which was there. And then he invoked the Agni Astra. When he invoked the Astra and he directed it towards Subahu, and Subahu was immediately killed. And all the other Rakshasas who were left, who were still alive, just ran away. So Vishwamitra was very happy the next day and he said that you've served me so nicely, and you've done such a good job. And that night they stayed over there. And the next morning they said that, what do we do now? What instruction do you have with us? Because they came to kill Marich and Subahu. So Vishwamitra said that we'll go to Mithila because there King Janak is doing a sacrifice. And I want to show you a beautiful bow over there, Lord Shiva's bow. So they said, okay, and they started leaving. On the way, they came to a hermitage which was abandoned. Yeah. Now this abandoned hermitage, Lord Ram looks at it and says that, what is this? Can you tell me what this is? So then Vishwamitra says that there was a very pious rishi called Gautam Rishi, and his wife Ahalya was very beautiful, very pious, and lot of tapas she did. But Indra and the Devatas were very scared that Gautam Rishi was becoming very spiritually powerful. So he said, we must invoke anger in him and bring his spiritual power down. So Indra goes to Ahalya disguised as Gautam Rishi and says that, but Ahalya him and says that, look, you go away from here because my husband won't like it. As Indra was exiting the hut, Gautam Rishi is coming. He had just had a fresh bath from the river and he sees himself, another person just like him, and he recognizes Indra. And he curses Indra. Indra goes away from there. But now he curses Ahalya. He says that, how did you, because these things happen due to anger, and also sometimes it's because of the purity of the environment that Gautam Rishi did not want any thoughts coming to his head. So he curses Ahalya that you will stay here for 1,000 years without food, you'll be subsisting only on air, you will lie down in ashes during your presence, and no living being can see you. Now in Valmiki Ramayana, this is the curse which Gautam gave Ahalya. In other Ramayans, Ahalya is turned into a stone. So both versions are correct, but since we are doing Valmiki Ramayana, we will see this. And he also told Ahalya that when Vishnu comes down as Lord Ram incarnation and he comes and you serve Lord Ram, then you will come out of this curse and I should also return to you. So so immediately Ram and Lakshman entered the hut and they touch Ahalya's feet and she is shining like the sun. And immediately Gautam Rishi also comes back and Ahalya serves Lord Ram and Lakshman very nicely. And then Ram and Lakshman. Now, when we go to Mithila, we have to talk about Sita first. Now, Sita was Janak Maharaja's daughter. So Mithila once went through drought. There was no rain and so therefore there were no crops. So Janak Maharaj did a yagya And when he, to please the Lord, the Devatas, and he had to till the sacrificial ground with a golden hull or a plow. So when he was doing that, he came upon a golden box. Now remember that golden box which Ravan had thrown into the ocean? It had come to Mithila because that was Lakshmi herself. And now Sita comes from the earth. She's called the maiden. Her mother was the earth. And when they opened the box, there was Sita, this beautiful child. And her name was Sita because the tip of the plow, the hull, is called Sita. And since that is what hit the box, she's called Sita. And Sita was Lakshmi herself. She was beautiful. She had beautiful qualities. More of her qualities we will glorify in the coming Kans. Yeah. Then now this bow which Vishwamitra was talking about, which was there from Janak Maharaja's ancestors, belonged to Lord Shiva. And this bow was on a cart which, to pull that cart which contained the bow, you needed 5,000 soldiers. And one day, Sita and her friends were in the garden. She wanted to pluck a flower and she couldn't reach it. It was high up on the tree. So she quickly runs inside. This small little girl, Sita, picks up the bow of Lord Shiva with one hand, which needed 5,000 soldiers. She picks up with one hand and she just, brings the flowers. And all the soldiers see this. They go running to Janak Maharaj. Janak Maharaj is astonished. And then Narad Muni advises him that she is Mahalakshmi and the only person who can marry her is Vishnu. So then Janak Maharaj says that whoever can string this bow will marry Sita. No one was able to do it. But then finally, Vishwamitra comes and says, Janak Maharaj, bring the bow and show it to Ram. And Lord Ram then, what he does, all the soldiers, 5,000 soldiers, go pull the cart and bring it. And then Ram says, Rishivar, he first takes permission and he asks Vishwamitra Muni, shall I go? Shall I touch it? He goes like he was a young boy. He goes and says, shall I string it? Vishwamitra and Janak Maharaj said, yes, of course you can. And then he picks it up. And immediately he just carries it with one hand, and everybody there was just looking at him in awe. He said, oh my God, he's picked it up. And then he strings it, and stringing it with a twang, he draws it. And as he draws it, he breaks it. And there is this earth-shattering noise. And everybody falls down unconscious except Janak Maharaj, Vishwamitra, Lakshman, Ram, and Sita. Everyone is unconscious because of that sound. And then immediately Sita comes and she puts a garland around her neck, around Lord Ram's neck, and they are going to be married. So immediately what happens? Janak Maharaj sends word to Dashrath Maharaj. And Dashrath Maharaj is very happy because he wanted Lord Ram to get married. So he comes, he reaches there in 5 days. And then Janak Maharaj tells Dashrath Maharaj that Sita is Mahalakshmi. Narad Muni said that she will only marry Vishnu. So your son is Vishnu. Dashrath is like bewildered. Really? He's Vishnu? And he says, yes. Then he looks at this beautiful face of Lord Ram and he forgets everything. And he says, no, he's my son, Ram. He's my son. So then Vishwamitra suggests that Sita's sister, Urmila, marries Lakshman. And Janak's brother, Kushadwaj, he has 2 daughters. So Bharat and Shatrughan marry them. So then all the 4 marriages were conducted and they all start to Ayodhya. Now when they go to Ayodhya, they're going to Ayodhya, suddenly there are strange omens. There is a sandstorm, and from that sandstorm comes out Lord Parashuram. This fearsome looking Parashuram, everybody's scared because Parashuram kills all Kshatriyas. He's done it 21 times. around the world, and they're very scared. They want to please him. So he only addresses Ram and says, "You have broken the bow of Lord Shiva. Now I have Vishnu's bow. Let's see whether you can string it." So Lord Ram, first of all, he bows his head and he offers his obeisances. And then he says that you are a Brahmin and a sage. But however, you don't like me because I'm a Kshatriya. But anyway, I'll display my strength. He immediately seizes the bow and arrow from Parshuram's hand. He strings the bow and he draws it and says, "Tell me now, where shall I aim it? Where shall I discharge it? Tell me." And then Parshuram suddenly realizes that this is Vishnu himself. He says, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Parshuram is a partial expansion, but Ram was the full expansion of Vishnu." He says, "I'm sorry. Now you keep this bow. This is meant, I was meant to give it to you. I'm going to Mahendra Parvat. You take care of the bow." And he went away. And this bow, Lord Ram invoked Varun Dev from a river nearby and said, "Varun Dev, you keep it for now. When I need it, I'll take it from you." And then they proceed to Ayodhya. This is the end of Balkand. Now, next starts Ayodhya Kand. Yes? So now in Ayodhya Kand, we will start in the next class. And okay, I will stop sharing. So that was Balkand. Yes. So if you have any questions, what will you do? You will quickly note down, and at the end of class, you will tell me. Right. So now, do we have time, Sujata, Mataji, for a 5-minute quiz, or should we just move on to Maharaj Ambarish?
I think we'll do Kahoot because children will like it.
All right. So now, if you're going to do Kahoot, Sujata, can you just, till I set it up, because I have to share screen, can you just have a quick word with them about explaining about Kahoot, what they have to do?
Okay. All of you have an extra device with you, like you can borrow your mom's phone or you can have your own phone as well. So get ready with your instrument with another phone. And
Wait, I have a question.
There's a screen.
yes, please.
There is something called split screen on if you're on iOS iPad.
Oh, is it? Supriya, you think that will work?
It might work
Because we
if you
haven't done that way, right?
It is up to you. If you are okay with that, you can go with it. It's better all of you just put your messages in chat instead of unmuting and talking. Yeah, because there'll be too many people otherwise.
See, we have only done with another instrument, so I'm not aware of this one. What I don't know. Okay, if it works and if you're comfortable with it, you can go
I
ahead.
think you can do it with split screen. That's fine.
We can do
I'm
it
on
with
split
slip
screen right now. I'm on
screen. We can do it with one tab only.
I'm on
Okay,
split
done
screen
then.
right now.
Okay, looks
not
like
on
you
a
all know
tablet,
much
I'm
more
on an
than what we
iPad.
know. Go ahead. So
Okay,
I don't
what I'm
think so
going
you all
to
need
do
any
now is,
explanation. Yeah.
and I'm going to generate the pin, and then you will have to log in with that pin. Yes.
Yeah.
So just bear with me 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm just getting it.
Yeah, all of you just get ready meanwhile, yeah.
Yes, just get ready.
Yeah, and also have a flashback about what Mataji spoke in Ramayana. That will help. So the questions are going to be based on the Ramayana story, which she just narrated now.
Miss, can you present the Kahoot?
Yes, just wait. She is on the job. Just wait, yeah.
But I mean, is she going to present the Kahoot or is she going to say the questions?
We're going to play.
Do we split screen?
Okay.
How do
If you are not aware of doing in a split screen, please borrow your mom's phone and get ready. Yeah. She'll give it to you. The pin will be generated. Just wait. Meanwhile, you all just think about the story, yeah, and get ready.
Okay, there's your pin.
So Okay.
6636-810.
I came in.
Everyone in? Shall we start? There are 54 participants, but 42 have connected. Shall we just start? Okay, few are still connecting.
First, you have to see how many people are in the meet. That many players will come.
All right, am I waiting for anyone or should I start?
Start.
Miss, there should be 9 more people. 54.
That's okay. Maybe some are
Yeah.
siblings. That's fine.
Yeah.
Maybe some are siblings and they don't want.
Yeah, there's supposed to be 54 people. 5 players.
All right, 48.
Yeah. We'll just give them another 2 minutes. Hurry up, all of you.
50, 49. Okay, so we are starting now. Yes. Now we have
Miss,
a
there have to be
very
54 people.
we have
Somebody else
a
join.
very short quiz. I want everyone to be muted. I don't want anyone talking. Please listen to me. A short quiz because it's the first day and it's a very easy one. Yes, because many are doing it for the first time. Shall we start? And we go.
Okay.
Are you ready? Yes. First question. Who wrote the Ramayana? Easy. Rishi Vyas, Rishi Valmiki. Okay. Rishi Valmiki. 44 got it right. Okay, let's see who's on top. Okay, Ayushi, Naman, Riya, Dia, Manvik, Manasvi, and Shlok. Well done. Ready for the next? Who is Ram's mother? Ram's mother is Yashoda, Kaikeyi, Kaushalya, Sumitra. Kaushalya is the right answer. Oopsies, next time listen. Okay, Manvik and Mansvi, Ayushi, Radhe, Urvika, and Snigdha. Well done. True or false? Ram went alone with Rishi Vishwamitra. True or false? False. He didn't go alone. He went with Lakshman. Correct? Oopsies. Urvika. Well done. Urvika, Radhe is just behind Urvika. Manvik and Mansvi, Ayushi, Anushka. And next. Janak Maharaj had whose bow in his possession? Lord Shiva or Lord Vishnu? Lord Shiva. Yes. Ayushi is back on top again. Well done. Yes. And the last question. On the way back to Ayodhya, Lord Ram was challenged by whom? Lord Parshuram, Lord Narsimha, Lord Indra, Lord Varun. Lord Parshuram, right answer. Remember he said, why did you break Lord Shiva's bow? Now take Vishnu's bow, right? Okay, let's see who's on top. Third place, Urvika. Well done. Second, Ayushi. And first is Manvit and Mercy. Ranata, Radhe, and Anushka. Okay, well done. Well, okay, congratulations. Everyone did a great job. And now, Sujata Mataji is here. Let me introduce her. This is Sujata Mataji. She's one of our teachers. She's been teaching for a very, very long time and she teaches beautifully. She narrates these wonderful stories and I'm sure you'll enjoy it. So I'm going to switch off my video and listen with you all. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, just Hare Krishna. Just give me a second. I'm just sharing my screen.
So
Yeah,
now everybody
okay.
is ready for the story. So again, if you have your notepad and pen, take down questions.
So you can see my screen, all of you? Supriya,
Yes, we can see
can you,
it. But
you can,
yes, we can see it.
yeah.
Maybe you should make it full screen.
I have done it full screen.
Okay, fine. Yes, yes, it is full screen.
It is full screen, yeah.
Yes, it is.
Okay,
Yes.
and I'm audible enough? Loud enough?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Okay, Hare Krishna, everyone. So one more story for the day for y'all. That's Ambarish Maharaj's story. So why Ambarish Maharaj? Yeah, he is he was the emperor of the entire world, and he was the most powerful king and a celebrated devotee of Lord Narayana. This is the most important quality. Yeah, he is the most celebrated devotee of Lord Narayana. He performed devotional service with great opulence. He never desired anything for his own satisfaction. He engaged all his senses in devotional service by doing various services to the Lord. I hope all of you can see the slide, how the Lord is worshipped in such a grand way, isn't it? And this he did it every day without any fail. So once Amrish Maharaj was worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead on Dwadashi. This is the day after Ekadashi. Okay, what is Ekadashi? I think somebody's mic is on. Can you unmute it, please? Okay. Okay, now. So what is Ekadashi? Our regular Gita class students know this. For the sake of all the other students, let me explain. Ekadashi is the 11th day of the moon cycle, both from Purnima and from Amavasya. So Purnima is the full moon day, Amavasya is a new moon day. So I hope all of you know what is full moon and new moon. You must have studied, so I'm not going to explain about it. Okay. So Ekadashi is well known as the day of Lord Hari Narayana. So this is celebrated as one of the highly auspicious days suitable for what? Fasting. The real way to observe Ekadashi fast completely, the real way to observe Ekadashi is to fast completely without even taking water. That is called Nirjala fast. If you cannot observe a Nirjala fast, you just have water. If you cannot do that, you can also take little fruit and milk along with water. The next option, which most of us are doing it, the easy option is that you can also take other non-grain foods like vegetables, but except onion and garlic. We need to avoid all the food that is made of grains on this day. Okay. Ekadashi fast must be broken next day after sunrise. So again, someone mic is on. Can you please? Okay. Now, I hope all of you have a fair idea of what Ekadashi is. When we fast on this day, we become very, very dear to the Lord. Many of our Gita class students have observed this fast. Okay, now coming back to our story. Likewise, Ambarish Maharaj fasted the entire day, and on the next day, that is Dwadashi, he did his prayers and was ready to have his prasad. It is important to break fast on a fixed time. When he was about to break his Ekadashi fast, who comes? The great yogi Durvasa Muni appeared in his palace and became his guest. Amrish Maharaj was very happy. He respectfully welcomed Durvasa Muni. He also invited Durvasa Muni to break his fast with him. Durvasa Muni gladly accepted and he went to bathe in the Yamuna river. Amrish Maharaj kept waiting for a long time and was getting very anxious as there was no sign of Durvasa Muni's return. Since it's important to break the fast, he drank little water in accordance with the advice of learned Brahmanas present there. By mystic power, somehow Durvasa Muni got to know this and he was very angry and felt humiliated as king did not wait for his return. When he returned, he was very angry and upset. He started to chastise Ambrish Maharaj. He created from his hair a demon appearing like what? Fire of death to kill Ambrish Maharaj. I hope all of you can see the demon in the slide. Can you? It's very scary, isn't it? Okay. The Supreme Personality of Godhead was watching all this. It was very painful for Narayana to see his devotee being in danger. So, to protect Ambrish Maharaj, he sent his disc, the Sudarshan Chakra, which immediately vanquished the fiery demon. I hope all of you can see it. See the Sudarshan Chakra, it is in this slide. Just see, it is in the Lord's hand. Upon seeing that his own attempt had failed, that the Sudarshan Chakra was moving towards him, Durvasa Muni became very frightened and began to run in all directions to save his life. Sage Durvasa ran and ran. He ran on top of the mountains, on plains, caves, even underwater. The chakra followed him everywhere. Can you see how Chakra is chasing the Muni? When Durvasa Muni could find no shelter, he approached who? Lord Brahma. Can you all see Lord Brahma? Yeah. But Lord Brahma refused to give shelter to Durvasa Muni. So what he did next? Where he went? He went to take shelter of who? Lord Shiva, who resides on the planet known as Kailasha. Lord Shiva also could not give him any shelter and asked the Muni to approach who? The Lord Narayana. Finally, Durvasa Muni went to the spiritual world and surrendered to Lord Narayana. But Lord Narayana could not excuse a person who has offended his true devotee I mentioned, right? Ambarish Maharaj worshipped Lord every day. To be excused from such an offense, one must submit to the devotee whom he has offended. There is no other way to be forgiven. Lord Narayana advised Durvasa Muni, you have no other choice. Just go to Ambarish Maharaj and beg his pardon. Following the order of Lord Narayana, Durvasa Muni immediately went to Ambarish Maharaj and fell at his feet. Seeing Durvasa Muni at his feet, Maharaj prayed that Sudarshan Chakra be merciful to the Muni. Sudarshan Chakra, being a beast, refrained from killing Durvasa Muni. This shows the goodness of Ambarish Maharaj. He is very kind, isn't it? Very forgiving. After this incident, Ambarish Maharaj gave Durvasa Muni delicious prasad to eat, and then Maharaj, who had been standing in the same place for 1 year without eating anything, also took the prasad. Why 1 year? It took 1 year for Durvasa Muni to travel to Brahmaloka, Kailasha, and then to Vishnuluka, and finally he got back to the palace to Amrish Maharaj. But remember, all this happened in our previous yugas. This moment, we all are in Kali Yuga. Okay, so this is the story of Amrish Maharaj. Now, coming to the most important aspect of the story is the moral of the story. Why this story is told today is for us to learn and unlearn things. Here we saw Durvasa Muni, who is also very famous for his what exploding anger, and he fell prey to his own. Likewise, there are numerous tales of people suffering from such outbursts of temper. So we should always control our anger. Next time, when any of you get angry, please think before you say or act in anger. Instead of impulsively getting angry, take a deep breath and deliberately choose to stay calm. This calm will not only save you, but also empower you to act in a right way. Anger blinds you. So be very careful. So let me hear from all of you. Have you controlled your anger in the homework note? Yeah. That is the first learning from this story. So the second one is the most important. We should all pray to Lord Krishna and become his devotee. Lord is Bhakta Vatsala. That means what? Lover of his devotee. God loves each one of us so dearly. But for us to realize this, we need to start loving him back. How? By following what is instructed in our scriptures, Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. For this, please attend the Gita classes. Yeah, after the summer camp, we run Gita classes regularly. So please try to attend the classes. For Krishna, his devotees are first and foremost priority. He is always there to protect his devotees. In the story, we also saw that Lord cannot tolerate an insult thrown upon a great devotee of his. So, this is another learning is to become a devotee and also try to observe fast on Ekadashi. I hope all of you enjoy the story, think about it, and more importantly, remember to follow the learnings. Yeah. Hare Krishna, and thank you very much. Back to Supriya Mataji.
Krishna, everyone. So it's such a beautiful story, and we learned so much from it, right? We all sometimes get angry, but we should somehow control our anger. Now, we will learn a few verses. Can I ask, please, Kishori Mataji to unmute?
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Mataji, I'll just share the
You're
page for
sharing,
them.
Priya? Okay.
Yes.
Because, all right, because I had printed it out. I'm glad you've done this. So, are we ready to learn a shloka about Ambarish Maharaj? We heard so nicely from, what did she say about Ambarish Maharaj? He was a big devotee of the Lord, right? In this shloka, we will learn the first 4 lines today, and then we'll send you the recording. And you will understand how Ambarish Maharaj used his mind, he used his tongue, he used his hands, he used his legs to serve Krishna. Okay, so I'm going to chant the first line. I'll split it and chant it 3 times once, and then you all will chant 3 times. That way we learn the shloka quickly. Okay, is that right? Okay, so we'll start now. I think, Supriya, how are we going to do it?
Mataji, you chant, and then everyone will chant without unmuting their mics.
Okay.
And maybe one person can chant after you.
Okay.
Should I ask one child to unmute their mic?
Ria?
Yes, sure.
Yeah.
Ria, can you do that? Ria Dia? Yes.
Okay, so I'll chant once and Ria Dia will chant thrice, and y'all will mute your mics and chant 3 times in your homes. Yeah, that way we will learn, then we will record it and send it to you. Savai mana,
Savai mana, Savai mana, Savai mana,
Krishna padara vindayor,
Krishna padara vindayor, Krishna padara vindayor, Krishna padara vindayor,
vachamsi vaikunta,
Vachamsi Vaikunta,
gunanuvarnane,
Gunanavarnane,
vachamsi vaikunta,
Vachamsi Vaikunta, Vachamsi Vaikunta, Vachamsi Vaikunta,
gunanuvarnane,
Gunanavarnane, Gunanavarnane, Gunanavarnane.
So we'll do the first line 3 times and second line 3 times. Okay, then we'll do the first 2 line 3 times. Savai mana Krishna padara vindayor,
Samana Krishna Padavaindayor.
Paravindayor. Savaivana Krishna Padara Vrindayor. Savaimana Krishna Padara Vindayor.
vachamsi vaikunta gunanuvarnane,
Vachamsi Vaikunta Gunanavarnane. Vachamsi Vaikunta Gunanavarnane. Vachamsi Vaikunta Gunanavarnane.
karau harir mandira marjanadishu,
Karau Harir Mandira Marjandishu.
Okay, let's split it. Karau harir,
Karar Harir, Karar Harir, Karau Harir,
mandira marjanadishu,
Mandira Marjanadishu, Mandira Marjanadishu, Mandira Marjanadishu.
karau harir mandira marjanadishu,
Karau Harir Mandira Marjanadishu, हरेर्मन्दिरमार्जनादिषु करौ हरेर्मन्दिरमार्जनादिषु.
Okay, we'll do the first 3 lines so that we don't forget the first 2 lines, okay? Savai manah Krishna padaravindayor
Savai mana Krishna padaravindayor
vachamsi vaikunta gunanuvarnane
vachamsi vaikunta gunanuvarnane
karau harir mandiramarjanadishu.
करौ हरेर्मन्दिरमार्जनादिषु.
So we'll do the 4th line now. Shrutim chakarachyuta sat Shrutim chakarachyuta
Shrutim chakarachyuta
Shrutim chakarachyuta
Shrutim chakarachyuta
Shrutim
Shrutim
chakarachyuta.
chakarachyuta
Yeah, Shrutim chakarachyuta.
Shrutim chakarachyuta
3 times.
Shrutim chakarachyuta Shrutim chakarachyuta Shrutim chakarachyuta
Satkatodhaye
Satkatodaye Satkatodaye Satkatodaye
Shrutim chakarachyuta satkatodhaye.
Shrutim chakarachyuta Satkatodaye Shrutim chakarachyuta Satkatodaye Shrutim chakarachyuta Satkatodaye.
Okay, so we are going to do the 4 lines together. So I would recommend if we have Supriya, can we have Shaurya, Sharan, Manvik, the children who regularly chant verses to also turn on their mics? Is that okay?
Yes, Mataji. Yes.
Yeah.
Sharan, Manvik, and Shaurya, can you come here?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm
What
here.
about Sharan? Sharan, is your mic working? Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to chant once and y'all will chant after me. No, we'll chant together. Is that good? Yeah? Because
Okay.
you have been in classes and who else? So Supriya from Meadows, you have any more starters there?
Where is that?
Okay, so shall we start? So Dia, Manvik, Sharan, and Shaurya. Can we have you all chant with me, please? Yeah? 1, 2, 3. Savai mana
Krishna Padaravindayo
kara
Hare
man shrutim
Satkatodaye. I can't hear it.
Yeah. Okay. So can I chant and y'all repeat because I think there's too many. I think there's an echo. Savai mana Krishna padaravindayo vacham vaikunta gunanuvardhane.
Ma'am,
Vachansi
my tab glitched and I didn't do anything. It automatically shared its screen.
Haro Harir Mandiramarjanadishu
Mandiramajnadishu
Shrutim Chakara
Sorry, I replaced its
Satkathodaye
shared screen.
Chakamachuta.
Okay, I think we will learn only these 4 lines today and then we will see next class how to go on with the next. Is that okay, Supriya? Or do you want me to go ahead?
No, Mataji, we can send them the recording and
Okay.
they can learn from the recording. We will send this verse to them. So
Yeah.
all the children must listen to the verses every day and learn from that. Yes.
So
So
I will record it and send it to you, Supriya.
yes, Mataji. So we'll
All
put it and we can just we can just put it on the group, Mataji. You can put it on the
Yeah.
group. And
Sure.
I want each and every child to hear Mataji's recording every day and chant these verses. I will put these verses out for you to chant. Yes, and read the translation as well.
Okay.
Yes.
Bye.
Yes. So now today's class, this was scheduled, and this was the shloka we wanted to teach you all. So now, if you have any questions, if you wish to ask any questions, then you stay back. Otherwise, we will just chant Hare Krishna 3 times and we will leave. Those who want to stay back to ask questions can stay back, others can leave. Yes? So we'll just chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So we put our hands up to ask the Lord for his mercy and we surrender to him and chant with me Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you so much for attending, and we'll see you all same time on Saturday.
Hi, ma'am.
Bye.
Hi, ma'am.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Raji.
Bye, ma'am.
Hi, ma'am.
Bye, ma'am.